Alright, hello everyone. My name is Disc, and in this video we're going to be studying the Mythic Skolex fight in the Sepulcher of the First Ones from the point of view of a Discipline Priest. I do run an Evangelism build with Pelagos, which means we need to track our combat meditation and also our newfound resolve procs. There are WeakAuras that I use to help me fully maximize both of those traits. But here off the top, we are going to look at the logs for the fight. This is a little bit shorter of a fight, and our play is a little bit weird. We want our first ramp to start about 45 seconds into the pull, which is going to be a double CD ramp. And after that, we basically just roll Evangelism every minute and a half. The main anchoring spell we want is our middle Evangelism. We want this used to top the raid before a burrow, but what we see here is our middle Evangelism, there is no accompanying cooldown. So the first and third Evangelisms are double cooldown windows, and the middle Evangelism is just nothing. One really important part of my UI is always my Innervate button. I use ERT to track that. There's a little icon down by my raid frame, and you're not going to see it in this video. I wish I had a better example, but there is a WeakAura that will give a little pixie glow to the raid frame of the 3 furthest targets from Skolex for the mechanic. It's really important to get this WeakAura and track who those furthest targets are if you're trying to maximize your HPS. You always want to keep those people atoned, but for the most part, our ramps here are going to be covering everyone anyway. It's just nice to be able to see who those targets are. And since our first ramp starts about 45 seconds into the pull, this is not a prog fight for us, so what I do is I just drop a Mass Dispel because it has a 45-second cooldown, and that's how I'm timing my first ramp. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but that's all I got here. So for this, we get a mini ramp to open. We're just killing time until our major ramp. Open with about 5 atonements and a radiance and a schism. And the way I've built this fight is I'm just watching my Mass Dispel timer to help cue my first ramp. Pretend you didn't see me get hit there, that's really embarrassing. But thankfully it didn't interrupt a ramp. And Mass Dispel is almost off cooldown, which means it's almost time to start our ramp. So this is a double CD ramp. I go ahead and request Innervate. I open with a Shadow Mend for a backloaded atonement. I'm rapturing for 10 seconds, and then I cast a Radiance, Shadow Fiend. My second Radiance, lock it in with Evangelism. Then I Schism and boom. And that was probably one of the worst ramps I've ever done. If you were paying attention there, I did not have the boss targeted, so dropped a couple casts. So whenever you're in Boon, you definitely got to look out for your combat meditation orbs. I use a WeakAura to help track that. It boosts your mastery. You definitely want to collect one during your ramp. There was a really good newfound resolve proc, just in time to top the raid for the burrow with that mini ramp. And if it allows, a better play is to hold Penance or Solace for the knockback, just to have some heals flooding in that interim. And all I'm doing here is waiting for Schism to come available. Trying to get one more mini ramp in here before Evangelism. Schism, Mind Blast, Smite, Penance, Solace. And here we go. Evangelism is 15 seconds away. Atonement is a 15-second buff, so that's our bottleneck. Open my ramp with a Shadow Mend. Rapture for 10 seconds. There's a great newfound resolve. Radiance, Radiance, Evangelism. And for this, we don't have any accompanying cooldown, so we're just going to roll our main spells the best we can. And this is just to top the raid right before this burrow. and the whole raid was very healthy. And here we are prepping for our next mini ramp. With mini ramps you can also lead with a Shadow Mend. Since the Atonement backloads, you do get more HPS out of it. And yeah, that newfound resolve WeakAuras is really great. He has like a 10-second despawn timer, so a lot of times you can delay grabbing him until you finish a ramp and you get a lot of benefit. And I have time for one more mini ramp here. I have about 10 people atoned, Schism, and just hitting my main DPS spells. And here we are for our final double cooldown ramp. Request to innervate, open with a Shadow Mend, and I'm rapturing for 10 seconds, covering as much of the raid as I can. Radiance, Shadow Fiend, Radiance, Evangelism, Boon, Blast. I got interrupted there, but I followed it with another Blast, then my Schism Blast, picked up that Combat Meditation Orb, and that was a pretty good double ramp. You always want to use the Blast when it's available. If you have to drop a global, drop it on a Nova. If your Blast is available, you definitely want to hit it. That is your power spell in your boon window. And that was a pretty good Skolex. I think my Parse was around a 90. I didn't play it perfectly. I don't have a ton of experience on this fight, but it's really not that hard. It's just a little bit weird for an Evangelism Disc Priest. And refer to that graphic if you want to see exactly what was going on, but it's 3 ramps total. The first and third ramp have a double cooldown. The middle ramp has no cooldown, and that's basically it. You always want to watch out for your newfound resolve procs. You want to track your combat meditation. And other than that, I use VuhDo to track my atonements. If you notice, my bars turn blue. That's in the presence of atonement, and that is the best way to track atonements if you ask me, and definitely my secret weapon to the spec. And thank you guys for watching, and until next time, Disc out.